Today I'm walking through a complete clutch alignment workflow for the Lancer Revolution platform using a dedicated alignment toolkit designed for Evo 7, Evo 8, and Evo 9. You'll find a link to purchase this and other models at a discount in the description below the video. You can place your order right now. I can't film the hardware on the bench today, so we'll proceed with a clean screencast of the specs, fitment, and process so you still get all the details that matter before you start a clutch job. The kit's purpose is straightforward. Center the clutch disc precisely to the pilot bore, so the transmission input shaft slides in without fighting the splines.
Did you know that the best discounts on Amazon last only a few hours? That's why I launched 2 channels where I publish the highest discounts on Amazon products in real time every day. Follow the link in the description and subscribe to our Threads and Telegram channels right now to consistently save money on your everyday purchases.
For Evo 7 to 9 with the 4G63T, that typically means matching the input shaft spline count and diameter used on the 5 or 6-speed gearboxes. A good tool, made snugly to the disc's hub splines, then seats squarely in the crank pilot, eliminating any vertical or lateral offset that would bind the shaft. If the tool is even slightly loose, you'll feel it as play in the hub, and you'll pay for it later during reinstallation. On materials, many kits ship with a hardened steel pilot and a composite or machined handle. Some are fully polymer. Steel or tight tolerance aluminum tends to hold center better under load than hollow plastic. If your kit is polymer, check for flax by gently twisting it in the disc hub. Minimal deflection is what you want. Surface finish on the pilot nose matters too. Any burrs can mar the pilot bore or prevent a fully seated center. I look for a chamfered nose and a consistent, smooth finish along the seating surface. Compatibility is usually advertised for Evo 7/8/9 single-disc clutches from brands like Exity, ACT, and Competition Clutch. Most organic and puck single discs align fine. Twin disc and some small hub race clutches may use different hubs or stack heights. Verify your hub bore and spline before assuming the kit will fit. If you're running an aftermarket flywheel with a different register depth, confirm the pilot section of the tool actually reaches and seats in the crank. Shallow tools can give a false centered feel. Let's walk the process. With the flywheel resurfaced and torqued to spec using a proper pattern, position the clutch disc against the flywheel with the correct orientation. Usually the sprung hub faces the transmission, but always check the marking on the disc hat. Insert the alignment tool through the disc hub and into the pilot bore. You should feel a solid, concentric seat. If there's wobble, reseat and confirm the splines fully engage the disc. Bring the pressure plate over the dowels, hand start all bolts, then snug them in a star pattern while keeping gentle upward pressure on the tool handle to maintain center. As you approach final torque, rotate the tool a few degrees. If it turns smoothly without scraping, you're on center. Once torqued, the tool should withdraw without resistance. Any binding means the disc slipped off-center during tightening, and you should reset before installing the gearbox. Tolerances are the quiet hero here. On these transmissions, even a small misalignment can make the input shaft hang up at the last inch. A well-made tool will have near zero radial play in the disc hub. If your sample has noticeable slop, you can mitigate it by centering visually and by feel, but it defeats the point of buying a tool. In that case, consider exchanging for a tighter unit. Also check the pilot diameter against the crank bore. Too small and it will tilt. Too large and it won't seat fully. Real-world notes from Evo installs. If you're pairing this with a heavier pressure plate, the extra clamp load doesn't change alignment, but it punishes any miscentering during gearbox install. A properly aligned disc lets the transmission slide home with firm linear pressure. No need to draw it in with bolts, which risks cracking the bell housing ears. If you ever find yourself tempted to use the bell bolts to pull the case in, stop and recheck alignment first. Pros for this kit category include faster setups, fewer retries, and cleaner reinstallation. It's inexpensive insurance when you're working under the car on jack stands. When the tool is machined correctly, it saves an hour of wrestling with the clutch. Cons depend on the batch. Some kits arrive with slightly undersized pilots or loose spline fits, and plastic shafts can flex with heavy pressure plates. The kit won't compensate for other issues like a warped disc, a contaminated pilot bore, or a pilot bearing that's starting to seize, so inspect those before blaming alignment. If you're planning a twin disc upgrade or a non-standard hub, verify the hub specs before purchase. If you stick to mainstream single-disc Evo 7/8/9 setups from Exity, ACT, and Competition Clutch, with standard hubs, this type of tool typically works as intended. For shops that do frequent Evo work, a metal, model-specific tool with known fits is worth the small premium for repeatable, tight-tolerant results. That's the practical take. If your current tool feels sloppy or you've had to muscle the transmission into place, upgrading to a tighter tolerance alignment tool can turn a frustrating afternoon into a clean, repeatable install. If the kit you receive shows visible molding seams, burrs, or wobble in the disc hub, exchange it. Don't settle.